This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
There is a player on the West Virginia roster that is not getting enough attention and enough love in the preseason. Who is it? I'm going to tell you right after this word from this channel sponsor. Since 1931, the attorneys at Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner have been the voice for victims who have suffered serious injury or death. They have a fierce passion for truth and justice and a sincere compassion for those who have been wronged by others. Whether you have been in a car accident or fighting with an insurance company, or you or a loved one has suffered serious injury or death due to medical negligence, we will ensure your voice is heard loud and clear. Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner will ensure there is justice for all West Virginians because we are your lawyer, your voice. Visit us at yourlawyeryourvoice.com. What is up? Welcome into another edition of Couz's Corner. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, belly yourself up to the bar. Let me pour you out this shot of top-shelf college football content on tap in today's episode of Couz's Corner. Of course, I'm your host, Couz. You can find me on X at Couz206. You can also find me over at Couz'sCorner.com. But on today's episode, we have on tap for you a player at West Virginia that, in my opinion, is not getting enough chatter about him in the offseason, not getting enough love, and is kind of being overshadowed by one of his teammates and even somebody in his own position room. Who am I talking about? C.J. Donaldson. C.J. Donaldson is a junior running back at West Virginia. He's had two really good seasons at West Virginia, but he has had to battle a lot of injuries. He's been banged up. C.J. Donaldson kind of burst onto the scene 2 years ago, his true freshman campaign, very first game of the season against Pitt in the backyard brawl on the road. He has 7 carries, 125 yards. And not only was it his first game at West Virginia, it was the first game in his entire life that he had played running back. That's right. He came into West Virginia as a tight end recruit or a receiver recruit. They had him listed as a tight end on the depth chart. Due to a player transferring out of the program, they had a need at running back that they needed to fill. They felt like he had good enough ball skills to do it. They put him in there. A legend is born. He ends up rushing for just over 500 yards in his freshman season. Missed a few games with injuries that year because he wasn't used to taking the pounding that a running back is accustomed to. But he comes back his sophomore year last year, runs for nearly 800 yards again. Didn't quite have the same yards per carry, but he did score a lot of touchdowns, had 11 touchdowns in the 2023 season. In his 2 years at West Virginia, C.J. Donaldson has carried the ball 258 times for 1,324 yards, 19 touchdowns, and has also caught 18 passes for 86 yards. So he's had a good, solid couple of years. Now, he's been a little overshadowed by his teammate, Jahiem White, and rightfully so. But when you take a look at CJ, somebody, namely Vegas, thinks CJ Donaldson's going to have a good year. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do a quick screen share here and show you exactly what our good friends over at BetUS have for a Big 12 rushing yards leader for the 24-25 season. Here are the odds. And by the way, if you want to place a bet with BetUS, check out the link in my description box or in the pinned comment below. Use that link, place your bet, take advantage of the special that BetUS has right now. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Take advantage of that today, but please play responsibly. Now, when you look at the odds here for the Big 12 rushing leaders for this season, you will see, obviously you see Devin Neal, you see Ollie Gordon, you see DJ Giddens, R.J. Harvey, Taj Brooks. Who's next on the list? C.J. Donaldson, 6th on this list with plus 900 odds to be the top rusher in the Big 12. Even better odds than Jahiem White. So I found that to be intriguing because Jahiem White has been getting all the attention this offseason, and listen, he deserves it. I'm not throwing shade at Jahiem White whatsoever. But I think C.J. Donaldson deserves some credit as well. Those two both together in the backfield at West Virginia are a great 1-2 punch. I would put them up against any running back duo in the country. As a matter of fact, this game coming up this weekend between West Virginia, Penn State, one of the intriguing things about this game are seeing the two running back duos for both of those teams. But Donaldson and White, two very different running backs. Donaldson's your power back who likes to get downhill quick. He's 6'2", around 240. Whereas Jahiem White is 5'9", around, I don't know, I think he weighs around 210, something like that, maybe 220. I don't know, but he's your short, shifty back. Donaldson's your big power back. Now, but he does have some cutting ability. CJ has 7 100-yard rushing games in his career. He had 4 of them his freshman year, and he had 3 a year ago. Now, a lot of people talked about how CJ took a step back a year ago. And I've even talked about that. But in his defense, he was banged up last year. He spent most, if not all, of the season dealing with a shoulder injury. He got that shoulder repaired in the offseason. He actually even missed the bowl game against North Carolina because of it, because he felt like that extra recovery time was more important than him playing in the bowl game. So C.J. Donaldson should be 100% healthy going into this Penn State game, going into this season for his junior year, and I think he has a lot on his mind. I think he has a lot to prove. But he also has Jahiem White there to take some of the pressure off, to take some of the carries so that he doesn't have to take a beating as much. And, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing C.J. Donaldson. I think he's going to run with purpose this year. I think he's in for a big year, and it would not surprise me at all to see C.J. Donaldson break 1,000 yards in 2024. And it wouldn't surprise me if he does have more yards than Jahiem White. Why? A, he's more experienced. B, I think he's going to be the healthiest he's been since he's been at West Virginia. He knows now how to play the running back position. He knows now how to take better care of his body. And I think he'll stay healthier, or at least has a better chance to stay healthier through this season because of what I said earlier. He has another back in Jahiem to take some of the pressure off. But I think at the end of the day, especially when you get down into the red zone, that's the guy you want to hand the football to. So I'm really excited about C.J. Donaldson and Jahiem. Like, again, this is nothing negative toward Jahiem. I just think C.J. deserves more love and attention. And I wanted to give it to him in this episode. When I saw that he was listed higher on that odds, on the BetUS odds than Jahiem, it threw me for a loop, man. And I thought, well, heck, somebody in Vegas is really high on C.J. Donaldson. And apparently they think he's going to get a lot of carries, and they think he's going to have a really good season. Plus 900 odds to be the Big 12 rushing leader. What do you think? Are you going to place that bet? Do you think C.J. Donaldson could be the rushing leader of the Big 12? If you do, go to BetUS today with the link in my description box and place that bet. And if you're confident, again, only do it if you can do it responsibly, if you can afford it. Or heck, do you think Devin Neal or Ollie Gordon or somebody else is going to be the rushing? I know Ollie Gordon is kind of the favorite in the clubhouse. He's even in the Heisman conversation. Leading rusher from a year ago. Might be the best running back in the country. But don't rule out C.J. Donaldson to be the rushing leader, but even more importantly, to be the top back in that room at West Virginia. And look for he and Jahiem White together to make a lot of noise in 2024. I want to hear your thoughts on this topic. Also want to give a shout out right now to the 4 paid VIP channel members of this episode. If you want to become a VIP member, hit the join button below or hit the join button over on my channel homepage right beside my profile photo and take advantage of the perks. The VIP members of today are Browns and Beers, Brandon Bailey, Timbo, and Houston Cougars, Germany. Thank you all for your support. If you want to show that support, you can do that with the join button. If you want to support me for absolutely free, you can do that too. Hit the thumbs up button. Give this a like if you thought this video was a good one. If you thought it sucked, then don't hit the button. That's simple. If you want to help me get my subscriber count up, hit that subscribe button. If you want to come back for more content, make sure you hit that button. If you like West Virginia, the Big 12, or conference realignment, then this is where you need to be. So subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, don't forget to leave the comment. And don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Let other people know about this channel. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Check out the one in the corner of your screen. Again, a shout out to BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino. Shout out to Katz, Kenner, Stone Street, and Buckner, attorneys at law, your personal injury and medical malpractice attorneys in West Virginia and Virginia. Thanks to them both for helping me keep the lights on. Have a top shelf day. And by all means, especially on Saturday, cue country roads.